Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're diving into the world of cybersecurity and AI, looking at the latest research papers from ArcSoar.
28 new articles, to be exact.
Yeah, 28. It's a lot to sift through, so we've done the work for you
Yeah.
to bring you the most intriguing findings and implications for the future.
It's a fast-moving target. This field is just evolving so quickly.
Absolutely. We'll jump right in.
Yeah.
So let's start with something that sounds straight out of a sci-fi thriller: deepfakes.
Yeah.
You've probably heard about them, but the research paper Deepen, penetration testing for audio deepfake detection, reveals a whole new level of sophistication.
Researchers have built a tool that really tests the limits of our deepfake detection systems.
Oh, wow.
They found that simple things like stretching audio or adding an echo can fool those systems.
Oh, so even those subtle changes can make a fake voice sound real.
Right. It highlights the need for more advanced methods. We need systems that can analyze audio on a deeper level, looking for inconsistencies that go beyond those superficial manipulations.
It's almost like we're entering a world where we can't trust our own ears.
Right.
Okay. Let's switch gears now and talk about healthcare. The research paper, Lena, an open-source, high-security, privacy-preserving, blockchain-based system for automating and managing laboratory health tests, proposes a solution to a major concern: data privacy.
It uses blockchain technology to give patients complete control over their health data.
Oh, wow.
You can imagine labs competing for your business in a secure, transparent marketplace.
That's interesting. That sounds like a real game changer for the healthcare industry. It could really empower patients and foster a more competitive market for lab tests. Could this be the future of healthcare, where data security and patient autonomy go hand in hand?
It's certainly a compelling vision.
Yep.
And it aligns with the demand for decentralized and patient-centric healthcare solutions that we're seeing.
Now let's move on to a threat that might hit closer to home for many of you typosquatting. Think about the last time you downloaded an app. Were you absolutely sure you were getting the legitimate version?
Probably not.
The research paper TypoSmart, detecting active and stealthy typosquatting threats in package registries, dives deep into this often overlooked cybersecurity risk. Imagine searching for a popular software package and accidentally misspelling the name. A typosquatter can create a fake package with a nearly identical name, ready to trick unsuspecting users.
Yeah, it's pretty common.
And it's scary how easily someone could fall victim to this. What's even more alarming is the sheer scale of this threat. The researchers behind TypoSmart found and removed over 3,658 typosquatting packages in just 1 month.
That's a huge number.
That's a lot. From tricking our ears to deceiving our eyes, it seems like attackers are exploiting every possible vulnerability. And now they're even using AI against us.
It's getting sophisticated.
The research paper, LLMs Have Rhythm, fingerprinting large language models, using intertoken times and network traffic analysis, uncovers a fascinating finding about AI. Large language models, or LLMs, have unique timing patterns
And a fingerprint.
that can be used to identify them.
Right?
So even if the text generated by different AIs looks the same, we can tell them apart by their rhythm.
Exactly. You can imagine tracing malicious content back to its source, even if someone's trying to hide their tracks.
Oh, that's really powerful.
This research gives us a powerful tool for identifying and holding those AI criminals accountable.
It's a reminder that AI is a tool that can be used for good or for evil. And as AI technology continues to advance, we need to be prepared for both possibilities. Now let's talk about a problem that seems to be getting worse, despite all our efforts: phishing.
It never goes away.
The research titled ePhishcade, a privacy-aware multidimensional framework for email phishing campaign detection, offers a new solution to this ever-evolving threat. Instead of just analyzing the content of emails, ePhishcade examines multiple dimensions: the text, timing, and even the geographic location of the sender.
Right, to identify those hidden connections and patterns that reveal phishing campaigns.
It's like connecting the dots to see the bigger picture. And what's especially impressive is that it does all this without compromising user privacy.
That's the key. Organizations can work together to detect and shut down these campaigns without having to share sensitive user data.
Speaking of sensitive data, let's turn our attention to text-to-image AI. It's a powerful tool that can be used to create amazing things, but it also has a dark side.
For sure.
The research paper, Safe Text, Safe text-to-image models via aligning the text encoder, addresses a growing concern: the potential for these models to be used to generate harmful content. Imagine fake images of real people in compromising situations, spread with the intent to harm reputations or incite violence.
It's a real concern.
So how does SafeText try to prevent this?
It modifies the text encoder, which is the part of the AI that interprets your prompts, to prevent it from generating those harmful outputs.
It's like building guardrails into the AI's creative process,
Yeah.
ensuring it doesn't stray into dangerous territory. Can it really stop every harmful image from being generated, though?
It's an ongoing challenge. As these models become more powerful, so do the methods for manipulating them. Researchers are constantly working to develop new safeguards and stay one step ahead of that misuse.
Now let's dive into a concept that sounds both incredibly futuristic and potentially risky: zero-touch networks. Imagine a world where networks manage themselves, optimizing performance and responding to threats without any human intervention.
It's coming.
Two research papers towards zero-touch networks, cross-layer automated security solutions for 6G wireless networks, and enabling AutoML for zero-touch network security, explore this very concept. They delve into the challenge of securing these highly automated networks, recognizing that increased automation can introduce new vulnerabilities.
Right. It's a trade-off.
We want the efficiency and convenience of automation, but we also need to ensure that these networks are secure. Can we really trust machines to protect themselves?
That's the big question. And it's one that researchers are actively trying to answer.
Okay, so let's switch gears now and talk about a topic that's becoming increasingly important in the age of AI privacy.
Yeah.
Several research papers, including Towards Privacy-Preserving Split Learning, DPZV, and FL Trojan, explore innovative techniques for protecting sensitive data in the realm of AI. These methods aim to train powerful AI models without compromising privacy.
That's a tough challenge.
So instead of collecting all our data in one central location, these techniques aim to distribute the learning process while keeping the data itself secure.
Exactly. It's like having a team of experts work on a puzzle, each focusing on a small section without ever seeing the complete picture.
It seems like researchers are really pushing the boundaries of what's possible when it comes to privacy-preserving AI.
Yeah, they recognize that privacy is not something we can afford to sacrifice as AI becomes more integrated into our lives. It's about finding ways to harness the power of AI while respecting individual rights and safeguarding sensitive information.
And that brings us to a topic that's generating a lot of buzz, excitement, and concern: large language models, or LLMs. We're just beginning to grasp their potential, but also their potential dangers.
They're very powerful.
A whole cluster of research papers have emerged highlighting the security challenges posed by LLMs. These vulnerabilities include jailbreaking, where LLMs are tricked into bypassing their safety protocols; backdoor attacks, where hidden triggers are inserted into the models; and adversarial attacks, where subtle inputs are used to manipulate the model's output.
It's a lot to think about.
It's a bit like a game of cat and mouse, with researchers constantly trying to stay one step ahead of those who would exploit these powerful tools.
Absolutely.
The stakes are high. As LLMs become more sophisticated and integrated into critical systems, the potential consequences of successful attacks could be devastating. We've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive, from the very real threat of deepfakes to the promise and peril of LLMs. And we've only just scratched the surface of this vast and complex landscape.
It's a lot to take in.
There's so much more to explore. And as we delve deeper into the latest research, we'll continue to uncover new insights, new challenges, and new possibilities. Stay tuned for part 2, where we'll continue our journey into the heart of cybersecurity and AI.
And it keeps changing. It really does.
It does. We see that reflected in the sheer volume of research focused on security. Let's shift our focus now to a specific concern: the security of our vehicles. As we move towards a future of connected and autonomous driving,
Yeah, that's a big one.
the research paper Robust Multicast Origin Authentication in MEPSEC and CANSEC for Automotive Scenarios addresses this very issue. As cars become more reliant on these complex networks of sensors and computers, they become more vulnerable
Much more.
to attack.
Cyber attacks.
Yeah. Scary thought. Imagine a hacker taking control of your car's brakes or steering.
It's a nightmare.
That's a nightmare scenario.
This research looks at ways to ensure that commands sent within a vehicle's network are coming from legitimate sources. It's like a digital fingerprint that verifies the identity of the sender, prevents malicious actors from injecting false commands.
So it's reassuring to know that researchers are working on solutions to protect us from these emerging threats. Now let's talk about another area where security is paramount: decentralized finance, or DeFi. It's a revolutionary concept that aims to create a more open and accessible financial system, but it also presents some unique security challenges.
It does.
The decentralized nature of DeFi makes it attractive to hackers. We've seen numerous attacks on DeFi platforms, resulting in big financial losses.
Huge losses.
That's a high-stakes game with potentially huge rewards for those who can exploit those vulnerabilities. What are researchers doing to make these platforms more secure?
They're focused on securing smart contracts, the self-executing code that governs DeFi applications.
Okay.
These contracts are often very complex and can contain subtle errors that attackers can exploit.
It's like finding a needle in a haystack, but the haystack is made of code.
Right.
And the needle could cost millions of dollars.
Exactly.
It's a lot of pressure. What about privacy in the context of DeFi? Blockchain transactions are transparent by design, which could raise concerns for users who value financial privacy.
Definitely.
What are researchers looking at?
Researchers are exploring ways to enhance privacy within the DeFi ecosystem. They're developing techniques like zero-knowledge proofs and privacy-enhancing cryptocurrencies that allow transactions to occur without revealing sensitive information.
So it's about finding that balance between transparency and privacy.
That's it.
We want systems that are accountable and auditable, but also protect user confidentiality. Now let's turn our attention to a topic that's both fascinating and a bit unsettling, the use of AI for surveillance.
Right.
AI-powered surveillance is becoming increasingly prevalent, raising concerns about privacy and civil liberties. Facial recognition technology, for instance, can be used to identify individuals in real time, potentially leading to mass surveillance and erosion of privacy.
It's a big concern.
It's a slippery slope. On the one hand, AI surveillance can be used for legitimate purposes,
Yeah.
like crime prevention and public safety,
Sure.
but it also has the potential to be abused and used to suppress dissent or target individuals unfairly.
Right. We need to be careful.
Finding the right balance is crucial. We need clear guidelines and regulations to ensure that these technologies are used responsibly and ethically. Transparency and accountability are paramount.
Absolutely.
Okay, back to the research. One paper that caught my eye is focused on combating deepfakes, which are becoming increasingly sophisticated and difficult to detect.
Yeah, it's a real problem.
This research explores the use of AI to detect deepfakes by analyzing subtle inconsistencies in audio and video.
Like a high-tech lie detector.
That's incredible. So AI can be used to both create and detect deepfakes. It's a constant arms race between those trying to deceive and those trying to uncover the truth.
That's it.
What other approaches are being explored to combat deepfakes?
Well, researchers are also looking at using blockchain technology to create a tamper-proof record of media content. This could help establish the authenticity of images and videos, making it more difficult for deepfakes to spread misinformation.
It's like a digital chain of custody that verifies the origin and integrity of media files. That's a really clever solution. Now, let's talk about another area where AI is playing an increasingly important role: ethical hacking. Ethical hackers, also known as penetration testers, are hired by organizations to find and fix security vulnerabilities before malicious actors can exploit them. AI can automate many of the tasks involved in penetration testing, making it more efficient and effective.
Definitely. It's a big help.
So instead of relying solely on human expertise, we can now use AI to probe our systems for weaknesses
Right.
and identify potential attack vectors.
Exactly. AI can analyze vast amounts of data and identify patterns that humans might miss, helping organizations strengthen their security.
We've covered a lot of ground in this second part of our deep dive, exploring the security implications of everything from connected cars to decentralized finance. It's clear that cybersecurity is no longer just about protecting computers and networks. It's about safeguarding our lives, our finances, and our very identities.
It's everything now.
And as technology continues to evolve at an unprecedented pace, the challenges and opportunities in the cybersecurity landscape will only continue to grow.
Absolutely. And it's always changing.
It really is. It's a field that demands constant vigilance and adaptation. Let's go back to a topic that we talked about earlier, large language models, or LLMs.
Right.
They're powerful tools with the potential to change so much about our lives.
For sure.
But they also present some unique security challenges.
They do.
One challenge is the sheer complexity of these models. They're trained on huge data sets and have billions of parameters, making them very difficult to understand.
It's like a black box.
It's almost like trying to dissect a black box. We can see what goes in
Yeah.
and see what comes out, but the inner workings are still a mystery. How are researchers tackling this?
Well, one approach is formal verification. It's a technique that uses mathematical proofs to try and guarantee the security of AI systems.
So it's like using math to make sure these powerful AIs behave as intended.
Exactly. Another approach is something called adversarial robustness testing, where researchers develop new types of attacks to stress test AI systems to try and identify weaknesses.
So it's like putting these models through a boot camp to make them tougher,
That's a good way to put it.
more resilient.
More resilient, exactly. What else are researchers doing to secure LLMs?
They're exploring techniques for watermarking or fingerprinting AI-generated content.
Okay.
So this could help identify the source of malicious content, even if it's been changed or altered.
So it's like leaving a hidden signature within the AI's creations.
Yeah, like a fingerprint.
Making it easier to trace back to the origin.
That could be really valuable for combating deepfakes
Right.
and other AI-generated disinformation.
Absolutely.
And, we often forget that people are often the weakest link in the cybersecurity chain.
Oh, for sure.
Phishing scams,
Right.
social engineering attacks, weak passwords. All of these things stem from human error.
Right.
So no matter how sophisticated our technology becomes, we can't forget about the human element.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that security isn't just about technology, it's about people. We need to educate users about common threats, promote good security practices, and design systems that are both secure and user-friendly.
We have to make it easy for people to do the right thing.
Absolutely. And build a culture of security awareness,
Right.
where people understand they need to protect their own data and devices. It's a collective effort that requires everyone to be vigilant and adapt to these changing threats.
For sure.
So let's look ahead. What are some of the key trends shaping the future of cybersecurity in AI?
Well, one trend is that these two fields are becoming more and more intertwined. AI is becoming a target for attackers and a tool for defenders. We're seeing AI-powered attacks and AI-powered defenses.
So it's a race against time. Each side's constantly innovating and adapting. What other trends should we be paying attention to?
Quantum computing. It has the potential to really shake things up. Quantum computers could break many of the encryption algorithms that we use today,
Really?
which could put a lot of sensitive data at risk.
So it's a double-edged sword. Quantum computing could revolutionize both cybersecurity and AI. But it also presents big risks.
It does.
So the challenge is to develop quantum-resistant cryptography before quantum computers become powerful enough to pose a real threat.
Yeah, we need to be ready.
It's a race to safeguard our digital future.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the latest cybersecurity and AI research,
It's been a lot.
it has been a lot. What are some key takeaways for our listeners?
Stay informed, be proactive, and never stop learning. The threats are real, the stakes are high. And the only way to stay ahead is to constantly adapt.
It's been a fascinating journey. We've covered the latest threats, the solutions being developed, and the crucial role that we all play in securing our digital world. Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.